What's up, people? Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about chanterelles, one of the many types of mushrooms that's out there in the world, and a very delicious variety of mushroom. All right. And with chanterelles, depending on what part of the season they're in, they can be really small, they can be massive, like almost the size of my hand. But they're an amazing mushroom to work with. But the only thing about chanterelles is that, like, look at this. I mean, look. Beautiful, right? And this is one solid piece, right? And then you have smaller ones like this, like you see? And this is not even the biggest that you can get them. So these are chanterelles. They're beautiful. They're always yellow, right? And a few things about chanterelles. They're normally very moist mushrooms, like they almost, I wouldn't necessarily say wet, but they're never really dry unless you get dried mushrooms, versus like shiitakes or oyster mushrooms that are a little bit more, not dry, but not as damp as chanterelles come, right? But chanterelles grow around pine trees, and a lot of times they're gonna have pine in them. So you want to be very careful. They might have needles in them. And when I say needles, I'm talking about the needles from the pine trees. So you want to be very careful when you are going through your chanterelles, right? And it might look something like this. See that little thing right there? So we're looking for stuff like that. And because these chanterelles, they're so soft, they're kind of moist, a lot of the times the stuff will, be stuck in them. And you just want to carefully clean them, right? Chanterelles, the other thing with them is that sometimes they can be very dirty when you get them. And when I say dirty, I just mean full of, different debris, pine needles, and all of that stuff, stuff like this. So you want to just pay attention and you want to clean those properly. So the best way to clean your chanterelles is never to wash them. People sometimes will wash mushrooms, and to me, washing a mushroom is like washing a truffle. You would never wash a truffle, right? Because you're getting rid of that flavor, that natural flavor, which is something you don't want to do. So the best way to clean your chanterelles, I'm going to show you. One is to get a paintbrush, a pastry brush, whatever you want to call it. You can go to your local hardware store, get a brush like this. Any kind of brush. You can get one as small as this, or you can get one that is a little bigger, right? It just depends on the kind of mushroom you're cleaning, how delicate those mushrooms are. So first things first, we want to take our brush and we want to just brush, right? You can get a little firm with your brushing, but nothing crazy, because you don't want to damage the integrity of your mushroom, right? And once you can brush out the top of your mushroom like this, right, and you get everything off, the other thing you can do is get a paper towel, right, and just wet it just a little bit, and then you can wipe out any kind of dirt that you might see, any kind of blemishes or anything on there that you think might not be, appetizing, appealing, etc., etc. And once you wipe it out like this, and you have a beautifully clean mushroom, the top part is good to go. The next part is flipping it over. And these beautiful lines right here that you see inside, those are called the gills of your mushroom, right? And you want to be very careful, because between these gills, there can be a lot of dirt, there could be pine, there could be a lot of different things. So what you want to do is take your brush again, and you want to brush out the gills, and you want to brush it in the direction that it's growing. So it's like straight up and down. So we're gonna brush straight up and down like this, and we're just gonna rotate it, right? We're gonna make sure that we get everything out of there, right? When you get to these babies that have some stems on them, what you wanna do is grab a paring knife, right? You grab your paring knife, and depending on where you are, depending on if you're in a restaurant, some chefs will have you do this, right? And the very bottom, and you'll just kind of scrape it, the stems only, right? Like this. This is one way to clean your chanterelles. and you're gently doing this. You're not getting very aggressive because, like I said, chanterelles are a very soft mushroom, and you can literally waste your mushroom if you're not paying attention to scraping it. So I'll leave that on there just so you can see how much I scraped. Very little, right? We took out very little, and then we can just snip this bottom just like that, and our chanterelle stems are clean, right? We go a little bit further up if we see anything kind of stuck in there or embedded in the actual mushroom, and then we can just wipe this off. Look at the gills, make sure there's nothing there, brush it out a little bit more, right? Just like that. Boom. We have a beautifully cleaned chanterelle mushroom. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you would clean your chanterelle mushrooms. If you ever see these in your farmer's market, in the supermarket, and you do love mushrooms and you haven't had them before, I highly suggest you get them. The texture of them when you cook them, it gets very soft, right? So be mindful in cooking it, right? I would say a really hot pan, salt, pepper, garlic, fresh thyme, things like that, and some parsley even, and it can taste really amazing, right? I would do this, right? This is how I would prep this to cook it. You don't have to cut it. You can basically just use your hands and pull it apart like that, right? So it just really depends on what you're making. This is great. You can top your risotto with this, your grits, cornmeal, anything like that, polenta, it's great for that. It looks beautiful. A really nice sear, okay? And don't overcrowd your pan with any kind of mushrooms you're cooking, unless you're making like some kind of ragu or something like that and you don't really care about searing. But if you're gonna sear it and that be the final step of the cooking process, then definitely don't overcrowd your pan, okay? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, experiment and really, have fun with food, because I'm telling you, this is how you learn, this is how you educate yourself, and this is how you come up with new ideas and tastier dishes, right? By getting things that you've never tried before, and then, finding places that you can learn how to use it, and then going for it, all right? So with that being said, I'm gonna use these to make a quick taco for the kiddies for lunch today. So nothing fancy, but we're gonna do some chanterelle mushrooms. I'm gonna probably use some Taco Tuesday seasoning, which is this baby right here. Do we have any up here? I guess we do not. Here we go. Taco Tuesday, boom. This is it right here, Taco Tuesday seasoning. This seasoning, amazing for any kind of fajita, taco, quesadilla situation, nachos, amazing, right? So we're gonna use some of that, maybe some orange juice, smoked paprika, really have fun with it. And so turn on your notifications, make sure you subscribe, hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already, all right? And make sure you comment on if you would like to see me talk about any other mushrooms, how to clean them, how to cook them. Tell me what you need, I'm here for you. Consider me your plant-based encyclopedia / guide / all that good stuff, all right? But yeah, I'll catch you next time, and remember, cook good, eat good, live good, be good. You dig? All right, people, I'm out.